So you've been on record to say that you add a lot of humor to your music, right? Do you think that that can or has it been used against you as being kind of like a novelty rapper like Eminem was early on, or like a Lil Dicky? Like, have you faced that kind of backlash?
Occasionally, I think I have, in two kind of ways. One, like for example, I would say if you were to ask people, the song that they know me for as a solo MC, they would probably say $50 haircut.
Right.
And that's like when I do live shows, that's the song that gets the biggest response. But the irony is that like that song got no support from like the DJs that regularly play my music. And, a lot of because their response was almost like, oh, well, is this a comedy record? It's over a trap beat? And so the other aspect is that like right before the pandemic, I'm talking literally like 10 days before COVID shut down the world, I had a meeting with a booking agency that I was getting ready to sign with. The agency ended up going under after COVID anyway. But when I'm in they had an office that was based out of NYU student professional building. And I go to this meeting and like they clearly very much liked my music and, knew the right records and all that. But then they referred to me, the guy in the meeting said something. He's like, it's like meme rap, but gritty. And I just kind of thought to myself, I'm like, I do not want to be described as meme rap under any circumstances. Like, I very much, consider myself and try very hard to be a serious MC. Like, I do have a very weird sense of humor. I have, a lot of oddball references to different things. But at the end of the day, like I'm trying to, even in a song like $50 Haircut, that I don't think it's a comedy record, but even if you were making the argument it was a comedy record, bar for bar, like there's so much technicality in there and double entendres and, syllable rhymes and, things, that an MC should have in their toolbox. So I think in some ways, maybe it has worked against me. Just in people never know where to categorize me, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Because, my music is too gully and gritty in some ways to put it with the meme rap and the, a lot of, stuff that's more on that end of the fence. But then, you're probably, I don't know. It's funny because I'm generally filed under boom bap. But what I do is not necessarily traditional boom bap. It's rooted in traditional boom bap. But I have a lot of other influences too that kind of shape the color of what ends up coming out. So I don't know, man. I think for people that need to be able to categorize things like, oh, well, this person's a meme rapper or they're a street rapper or they're they're a lyrical rapper or a conscious rapper. I think for people who need to be able to categorize things, I present a problem because, it's somebody said one time there was like, it's too street. What was it? They said it's too abstract for the street. It's too street for the hipsters or something to that effect. That like it's hard to kind of categorize it. So I don't know. In some ways, maybe it's worked against me, but I think for the people that I truly connected with, I think it makes them appreciate it a little bit more because that's one of the main things that I do get. Like when I hear stuff from people, there's like, you just do something different. Like you don't, I'm the sum of my influences. Like I'm as influenced by Redman as I am by Cool Keith, as I am by Jadakiss, like, and things like that. So it's like I take the little kind of humor from Redman. I take the weirdness and the abstractness from the Cool Keiths. I take the lyrical precision from people like Jadakiss. I get a lot of, I think the anger in my voice was maybe influenced by Sticky Fingers from Onyx. He was one of my favorites when I first got into hip hop.
Right.
And, well, that's one of the things I love about somebody like Ghostface Killer is that, Ghostface is going to say whatever he's going to say, and whether you get it or not does not matter. Like, this is my art, interpret it how you like. And,
Right.
So yeah, I don't know, man. Maybe it has, maybe it hasn't, but.
And for you guys that haven't seen the video, watch where he reads the comments under the $50 haircut video, because they're so funny. Some of the stuff that people say is ridiculous. And your reaction to it is even more funny because people are like, I wouldn't pay more than $10 for a haircut. You're like, oh yeah, well, when I see you, I'll be able to tell that it's only $10.
One of the unfortunate, this is one of the unfortunate downsides of growth is that, like, when I, for the first several years that I was making music, the only people that had ever even heard of me was like this small, like-minded community of people who were all intelligent and cool and got the jokes. But like, as your music gets out there, you start making the radar of people who may not get it. So one of the downsides of when $50 haircut started growing legs was I got all these people in the comment section, some of whom I was just confused how they ended up in my music video comments to begin with, because when I look at their profile picture on YouTube, they've got like the Trump flag in the background and the big Oakley sunglasses and, the America bandana. And I'm like, how did you end up in a Jake Palumbo comment section? But regardless, yeah, like I have always attracted a lot of trolls. And from the time I got on social media, like I have always attracted, for some reason, I am a magnet for trolls. And I think it's because, I don't know. I think some people are like offended by my audacity to just go out there and be myself, whether people get it or not. And so what I've always done is, I just kind of like put them on Front Street, basically, is anytime I get troll comments like that, I will generate, whether it's making a video like that of reading mean comments or whether it's taking a screenshot with some kind of snarky reply, like I make replying to these people a sport and use it for the entertainment of my audience. So anybody who has followed Jake Palumbo for any length of time, you're never going to go longer than a month or two before you see me putting some troll on Front Street. And, it's funny, sometimes I can get to, people ask me, like, are you making these up? And, that kind of stuff gets some of the best engagement on social media. But not everybody plays along. Like, not everybody always takes the bait. Like, sometimes I think, anybody can just reply F you and screenshot it. But like, I try to bait these people into a conversation so that I can humiliate them a little bit further. And not everybody always takes the bait and gives me something that I can work with. So that's why, it's usually only every couple months I can post one. But yeah, I do feed the trolls, and it's part of my, like, it's part of the entertainment when you follow me.